John. Hey, Emily. Ready for our English practice session? Emily. Hey, John. Absolutely, I'm excited. What do you want to focus on today? John. I thought we could practice conversation skills. Maybe talk about our favorite movies or books. Emily. That sounds great. I love discussing movies. What's your all-time favorite? John. It's hard to choose, but I think Inception is up there. The plot twists are amazing. How about you? Emily, Pride and Prejudice is my favorite. I love the characters and the romance. Do you enjoy romantic films? John. Sometimes. It depends on the story. I prefer ones with a strong plot. What do you like most about Pride and Prejudice? Emily, I really admire Elizabeth Bennet's character. She's so strong-willed and independent. Do you have a favorite character in Inception? John, I really like Cobb. His struggle to differentiate between dreams and reality is fascinating. Do you think you could handle a dream world like that? Emily, I think it would be fun, but also really confusing. I'd probably get lost in my own dreams. Do you ever have vivid dreams? John. Yes, sometimes. They can be really strange. What about you? Any memorable dreams you remember? Emily, I once had a dream where I was flying over a city. It felt so real. Have you ever had a flying dream? John, I have. It's such a liberating feeling. I love how dreams can be so surreal. What do you think dreams mean? Emily, that's a good question. I think they might reflect our subconscious thoughts and feelings. What do you think? John, I agree. Some dreams can reveal a lot about what we're going through in life. Have you ever had a dream that you felt was a sign of something? Emily, yes. I had a dream about a big change in my life, and shortly after, I got a new job. It felt significant. John, that's interesting. Sometimes dreams can guide us. What kind of changes do you hope to see in your life next? Emily, I'm hoping to travel more. I really want to explore different cultures. What about you? Any travel plans? John, I'd love to visit Japan. The culture and food are so fascinating. Do you have a specific destination in mind? Emily, yes, I'd love to go to Italy. The history, art, and cuisine are amazing. Have you ever tried authentic Italian food? John, I have. It's delicious. Nothing beats homemade pasta. Do you cook Italian dishes? Emily, I try. I make a pretty good spaghetti. What's your favorite dish to cook? John, I love making stir-fry. It's quick and easy, plus you can use a variety of vegetables. Emily, that sounds healthy. I should try making stir-fry more often. Do you experiment with different ingredients? John, definitely. I like trying new sauces and spices. It keeps things interesting. What's your favorite cuisine? Emily, I love Mexican food. Tacos and enchiladas are my favorites. Have you tried making them? John, I haven't made them from scratch, but I'd like to. Do you have a favorite recipe? Emily, I have a great recipe for chicken enchiladas. I could share it with you. John, that would be awesome. I'd love to try making them. What's the best part about cooking for you? Emily, I enjoy the creativity of it. It's fun to experiment and see what works. What about you? John, I love sharing the food with friends and family. It's a nice way to bring people together. Emily, absolutely. Food has a way of connecting us. Have you hosted any dinner parties? John, yes, I have. They're always a lot of fun. What about you? Emily, I've hosted a few. It's nice to see everyone enjoying the food. Do you have a favorite memory from a dinner party? John, one time we played games after dinner, and it turned into a hilarious night. What about you? Emily, I remember a night where we cooked together and ended up having a cook-off. It was so much fun. John, that sounds amazing. I love how cooking can turn into a fun event. Do you have any other favorite activities with friends? Emily, I enjoy game nights too. It's a great way to bond and have some laughs. What's your favorite game? John, I love board games, especially strategy ones. They really get everyone thinking. Emily, I enjoy those too. It's always interesting to see everyone's strategies. Do you play any video games? John, occasionally. I like playing multiplayer games with friends. It's a nice change of pace. Emily, that sounds fun. I've been wanting to try more cooperative games. Any recommendations? John, Overcooked is a great one. It's chaotic, but a lot of fun when you work together. Emily, I'll have to check it out. It sounds like a good time. Do you play video games often? John, not too often, but I enjoy it when I do. It's a nice way to unwind. Emily, definitely. It's nice to have different ways to relax. What do you usually do to unwind? John, I like reading or going for a walk. It helps me clear my mind. What about you? Emily, I enjoy listening to music or watching shows. It's a great way to escape for a bit. John, what kind of music do you like? Emily, I love indie and pop music. It's so uplifting. How about you? John, I'm a fan of rock and alternative music. There's something about the energy that I really enjoy. Emily, that's awesome. Do you go to concerts often? John, I try to. Live music is such a great experience. What about you? Emily, I love concerts. There's nothing like the atmosphere. Do you have a favorite concert memory? John, yes. I saw my favorite band live, and it was incredible. The energy in the crowd was amazing. Emily, that sounds unforgettable. I hope to see my favorite artist live one day too. John, I'm sure you will. It's worth the wait. Anything else you want to chat about? Emily, we've covered so much already. I've really enjoyed our conversation. John, me too. Let's keep practicing. Emily, sure. What do you think about the importance of learning languages? John, I think it's really valuable. It opens up new cultures and experiences. Why do you think it's important? Emily, I agree. Plus, it helps in connecting with people from different backgrounds. It's like having a key to another world. John, exactly. And it can also enhance career opportunities. Have you ever thought about learning another language? Emily, yes. I've always wanted to learn Spanish. It's such a beautiful language. How about you? John, I'd love to learn Japanese, especially since I want to visit Japan. It would help me understand the culture better. Emily, that's a great choice. What resources do you think are the best for language learning? John, I've heard that language apps are really effective. I also think practicing with native speakers is invaluable. Emily, definitely. Conversation practice is key. Have you ever joined a language exchange group? John, not yet, but I'd love to. It sounds like a fun way to meet new people while learning. Emily, I've been to a few meetups, and they were really enjoyable. It's amazing how much you can learn from others. John, that sounds great. What topics do you usually discuss at those meetups? Emily, we cover everything from hobbies to travel. It's interesting to hear different perspectives. John, I bet. It must be a good way to practice speaking in a relaxed environment. Emily, exactly. Plus, everyone is there to learn, so it feels supportive. Do you think you'd feel nervous trying it? John, a little, but I think it would get easier with time. It's all about stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Emily, absolutely. That's how we grow. What's something you've done recently that pushed you out of your comfort zone? John, I recently gave a presentation at work. I was pretty nervous, but it went well. Emily, that's awesome. Public speaking can be intimidating. How did you prepare for it? John, I practiced a lot and tried to anticipate questions. It helped boost my confidence. Emily, great strategy. I usually find that rehearsing helps calm my nerves too. John, yes. It makes a big difference. What about you? Have you faced any challenges lately? Emily, I've been trying to improve my writing skills, which has been a bit daunting. John, that's a good goal. Writing can be tough. What kind of writing are you focusing on? Emily, mostly creative writing. I want to explore storytelling more. John, that sounds exciting. Have you tried any prompts or challenges to inspire you? Emily, yes. I joined a writing group online, and we share prompts each week. It really helps spark ideas. John, that sounds like a lot of fun. Collaboration can be so motivating. Emily, it really is. Plus, getting feedback from others is super helpful. Do you write at all? John, a little, but mostly journaling. I find it therapeutic. Emily, journaling is great for self-reflection. Do you have any specific topics you like to write about? John, I usually write about my day or any thoughts I want to process. It helps me sort through my feelings. Emily, that's a great practice. I should start journaling more regularly. John, it can be a good way to keep track of your growth too. What other hobbies do you enjoy? Emily, I love painting. It's a wonderful way to express myself. How about you? John, I enjoy photography. Capturing moments is really fulfilling for me. Emily, that's a fantastic hobby. Do you have a favorite subject to photograph? John, I love taking landscape photos. Nature is so inspiring. Emily, I can imagine. There's something so peaceful about nature photography. John, definitely. It allows me to appreciate the beauty around us. What do you like to paint? Emily, I often paint landscapes too, but I also enjoy abstract art. It lets me experiment with colors. John, that sounds fun. I'd love to see some of your work. Emily, I'd be happy to share. I love exchanging art ideas. John, I'm always open to learning more about art. Do you find it hard to make time for your hobbies? Emily, sometimes. Life gets busy, but I try to set aside time on weekends. John, that's a good approach. Balancing hobbies and work can be tricky. Emily, for sure. It's important to prioritize what makes us happy. John agreed. What's something you're looking forward to in the coming weeks? Emily, I'm excited about a local art exhibit. It should be inspiring. John, that sounds amazing. I love seeing new art. Are you going with anyone? Emily, yes, I'm going with a friend who's also an artist. It'll be fun to discuss our thoughts. John, that'll be great. Experiencing art with someone who appreciates it makes it even better. Emily, exactly. Do you have any plans coming up? John, I'm planning to go hiking this weekend. I'm looking forward to some fresh air and beautiful views. Emily, that sounds refreshing. Do you have a favorite hiking spot? John, there's a trail nearby that has stunning views of the mountains. It's my go-to place. Emily, I'd love to hike there. Nature has a way of rejuvenating us. John, it really does. Let's make a plan to go hiking together sometime. Emily, yes, I'd love that. It'll be a great way to enjoy the outdoors and catch up. John, definitely. Let's keep in touch about it. Emily, sounds like a plan. I've really enjoyed our conversation today. John, me too, Emily. It's always nice to practice and share ideas with you. Emily, looking forward to our next session. John, same here. Have a great day. Emily, you too, John. Before we wrap up, do you have any tips for staying motivated while practicing English? John, sure. I think setting small, achievable goals really helps. For example, aiming to learn a few new words each week. Emily, that's a great idea. I also find that mixing up study methods keeps things interesting. John, definitely. Watching movies or listening to music in English can be a fun way to learn, too. Emily, I agree. I love watching movies with subtitles. It helps with both listening and reading skills. John, exactly. Do you have a favorite movie in English that you recommend? Emily, The Pursuit of Happiness is one of my favorites. The story is inspiring, and the dialogue is pretty easy to follow. John, that's a great choice. I love how it conveys perseverance. I'd recommend The Social Network for its clever dialogue. Emily, I haven't seen that one. I'll add it to my list. Have you ever watched a movie that really helped you with your English? John, yes, I watched Forrest Gump when I was learning. The accents are clear, and it has a lot of cultural references, which was great for learning. Emily, that's a classic. I love how it touches on so many historical events. John, absolutely. It's a good reminder of how storytelling can teach us about history, too. Emily, speaking of stories, do you enjoy reading? John, I do. I like novels that have rich character development. What about you? Emily, I love reading fiction, especially fantasy. It's a great escape. John, fantasy can really spark the imagination. Do you have a favorite author? Emily, J.K. Rowling is a favorite, but I also enjoy Neil Gaiman's work. How about you? John, I'm a big fan of Haruki Murakami. His writing has a unique style that pulls you in. Emily, I've heard great things about him. I should try one of his books. John, definitely. Norwegian Wood is a good starting point. Emily, I'll check it out. Are there any genres you don't like? John, I'm not a huge fan of horror. I prefer stories that make me think rather than scare me. Emily, I can understand that. I'm not a fan of horror either. I prefer more uplifting stories. John, it's nice to escape into something positive. Do you read in English often? Emily, I try to. I find it helps with my vocabulary. John, that's a smart approach. It's a great way to learn new phrases in context. Emily, exactly. Plus, it's fun to get lost in a good book. John, for sure. Speaking of getting lost, do you enjoy visiting bookstores? Emily, I love it. There's something magical about being surrounded by books. John, I completely agree. It's hard to leave without picking up something new. Emily, right? Do you have a favorite bookstore? John, there's a charming independent bookstore near me that has a cozy reading nook. What about you? Emily, There's a lovely one downtown that often hosts events and readings. It's a great community space. John, that sounds wonderful. It's nice to have places that encourage reading and connection. Emily, definitely. I hope to attend more events there. John, you should. It's a great way to meet fellow book lovers. Emily, I'll keep an eye on their schedule. What's the last book you read? John, I just finished Educated by Tara Westover. It was incredibly powerful. Emily, I've heard of that one. It's about her journey through education, right? John, yes. It's about overcoming challenges and the transformative power of education. Emily, that sounds inspiring. I'll add it to my reading list. John, you won't regret it. It's a real eye-opener. Emily, I love books that challenge perspectives. It makes reading so enriching. John, exactly. It's one of the reasons I enjoy reading. There's always something new to learn. Emily, well, I've really enjoyed our chat today, John. John, same here, Emily. Let's plan to continue our conversation soon. Emily, definitely. Looking forward to it. Have a great rest of your day. John, you too. Take care. Emily, thanks. By the way, do you have any goals for your English practice this week? John, I want to focus on improving my listening skills. I've been thinking about listening to podcasts. Emily, that's a great idea. There are so many good podcasts out there. Do you have a specific topic in mind? John, I'm interested in technology and science. I think it would be a good way to expand my vocabulary. Emily, that sounds perfect. There are some fantastic podcasts in those areas. Have you heard of Radiolab? John, yes. I've listened to a few episodes. It's really engaging and informative. Emily, I love how they mix storytelling with science. It makes complex topics more accessible. John, exactly. I also like how they explore different perspectives on issues. Do you have a favorite podcast? Emily, I really enjoy How I Built This. It features stories of entrepreneurs and innovators. John, that sounds inspiring. I'll have to give it a listen. Emily, you should. It's fascinating to hear about their journeys and challenges. John, I love hearing about people's experiences. It's motivating to see what others have accomplished. Emily, absolutely. It reminds us that persistence pays off. John, what are some other ways you stay motivated in your learning? Emily, I like to set specific goals, like reading a certain number of books in a month. It keeps me focused. John, that's a great strategy. I might try that with podcasts. Emily, definitely. Tracking your progress can be really rewarding. John, speaking of tracking, have you tried any language learning apps? Emily, yes, I use Duolingo sometimes. It's fun and makes learning feel like a game. John, I've heard good things about it. Do you find it helpful for speaking practice? Emily, it's good for vocabulary and grammar, but I think conversation practice is still the best way to improve speaking skills. John, I agree. I think combining different resources is the key to getting better overall. Emily, yes. Variety keeps things interesting. What's one resource you'd recommend? John, I'd suggest finding a language exchange partner. Speaking with someone helps a lot. Emily, that's a great tip. I've done that before and it was really beneficial. John, it's amazing how much you can learn from each other. Do you still do language exchanges? Emily, not recently, but I'm thinking of starting again. It was a fun way to practice. John, I think you should. It's a great way to build confidence in speaking. Emily, absolutely. Plus, it's nice to meet new people who share similar interests. John, exactly. It can lead to lasting friendships, too. Emily, I love that aspect of language learning. It's all about connection. John, for sure. Speaking of connections, do you have any favorite cultural experiences from your travels? Emily, yes. I remember attending a traditional dance performance in Spain. It was so vibrant and lively. John, that sounds incredible. I'd love to experience that. Emily, it really brought the culture to life. Do you have a memorable cultural experience? John, I attended a tea ceremony in Japan once. It was such a serene and beautiful experience. Emily, that sounds amazing. It's great how different cultures have unique traditions. John, definitely. Those experiences make travel worthwhile. Emily, they really do. It's like stepping into another world. John, I can't wait to travel more and experience even more cultures. Emily, same here. Exploring new places is always exciting. John, let's make a list of places we want to visit. Emily, that's a fun idea. We can share our top destinations next time. John, perfect. I'll start thinking about mine. Emily, me too. I have a few places in mind. John, great. I'm looking forward to hearing about them. Emily, same here. It's been a fantastic conversation. John, agreed. Let's catch up again soon. Emily, definitely. Have a wonderful day, John. John, you too, Emily. Talk soon.